Welcome back. This is the Take It Home podcast. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at Doc Simmons 17. It's been 2 weeks. Sorry we left you. I'm gonna give the hot tag to my partner, have him introduce himself.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks, find me on all social media brands at Z Hendricks. Z Hendricks, not Doc. Brand. Wow.
Like, I
Yeah,
know
we're off to
we're
a
out of
good start
practice.
here. I know my script's wrong. Z Hendricks Brand, and of course, look up Country Air at Country Air Official on Facebook and Instagram, and Country Air Brand on X. Now I'll pass it off to the Senior Official.
What's up, guys? Referee Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, pound sign for the ref brand, and Waffles. Take It Home podcast.
Waffles. How was the eats over these past 2 weeks? Anything y'all want to put over?
Lots of waffles, lots of pancakes, a good amount of eggs. I had a waffle, and they asked me, "Do you want fresh blueberries or glazed blueberries?" I said fresh, and my God, it was regular blueberries right on top, just the way I've always wanted it. I don't like that jelly. I just like regular old blueberries, and they did me up right.
Perch is anti-sauce. Anti-sauce.
Yeah.
Any extra sauce is not necessary.
Yeah, dry waffle with blueberries on top and a little bit of syrup. That was the real deal. Breakfast over the weeks.
Nice. Zach, anything from you?
I don't think if I had anything unique lately. I don't think so. We had that barbecue spot down in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, we did stop there. That was pretty good. On that chef's
Yeah,
high recommendation.
dude, that chef was pumped. Like that dude knew what good food was. He just
Yeah.
walked in and was like, "Yo, you want to eat good? This is what you get."
Yeah.
I did the opposite though.
It was good. It was good. So yeah, we had that. Um, we talked a little bit about it before the podcast. Grilled out a bunch, had some steaks, some wings, nachos, burgers, dogs. I'm all about a holiday where we can eat a lot. So yeah, I had a great time. And then
Actually, I went to an old favorite. I used to go here like right before Bruce City. I think a few other guys went too a couple times. The Forum.
I have heard.
Yeah, that was like Frankie's spot. But yeah, I went to the Forum with my family and like I had a good steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs can't go wrong. Yeah. But no, awesome. And with a big return, I know he's been sitting on this for 2 weeks. We need a very, very big banger of the week. Perch, what you got?
Got just the banger of the week. This one is spanned many weeks and will continue to span many weeks. It's a jam. It's a banger. It's an up and going kind of a groove. Caribbean Queen by Billy Ocean.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, is that a jam or what? If you haven't heard it recently, got to give it a play. It's a windows down kind of song. Inside, outside, clubbing, outdoor living, anything. This is a certified banger.
Oh no, yeah, it's perfect end of summer songs. Got that vibe to it.
Yeah, it's that right late August into September, fall time coming. Enjoy the last of the summer kind of tunes. So
Yep.
yeah,
Riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, definite sunset drive kind of music right there. Yeah, constitutes for the banger of the week. Could not wait to get that one to the people. Probably been around for 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah, Billy Ocean's been around forever.
I haven't heard it. It's new to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't heard this one in a while though. So yeah, awesome throwback. Welcome back.
Yeah,
Welcome back to Take It Home podcast, coming in strong. All right. Hey, we've been gone for 2 weeks. Did we get a chance to watch any wrestling? Zach. Or maybe not. He might.
Yeah. I watched Payback. Why is Nakamura not presented like this all the time?
Yeah, I know it's great.
I watched it and I was just like, if like people didn't pay attention to WWE, what they've been doing with him for the last few years, they'd be like, man, this guy's a assassin. This guy's a killer.
Yeah,
And like, it's
it's
just
been
crazy that
awesome.
it took this long to get him there.
Yeah.
Um, what else? What else? I was watching the WWE results because I don't have live TV yet, but I was very worried about that Gunther match. The social medias, they knew how to work you. They had the Chad Gable at the American Alpha reunion. They had Gunther cut the promo where it sounds like he's losing. I was like, come on, this guy. I'm probably the guy I like to watch is Gunther. So I was like, let the man get the record. And sure enough,
Yeah.
he secured the record.
Yeah, big congrats
Um,
to him.
some of the stuff we watched or some of the stuff we were at NWA 75. Got to watch BFT do their thing. Watched uh Brothers of Construction kill it. Watched Joe Alonzo get murdered by chairs by homicide.
Yeah.
Doc watched Jack Cartwheel almost murder himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's probably other stuff we watched in the car driving, but I know
Yeah.
you watched like some of those pay-per-views while I was sleeping.
Yep. I watched some of All In, which was very good. Very great start. Probably watched like the first hour, was a strong start to the show. And the buy-in for both pay-per-views. No, yeah, they were putting on a good show, firing on all cylinders. That the Punk versus Joe match to open up was very good. I'm sure somebody might bring that the aftermath of that, but no, that was really good. Hook and Jack Perry, that was very good. Yeah, it was just two good starts to shows. I did not get to watch all of it. But no, it was very good. And then watching NWA 75, the Jack Cartwheel Colby Carino match was awesome. Just watching the whole night, it definitely felt like this is a soft reset to NWA. So very excited to see where they go from here. Perch, did you watch
Oh, one
anything?
more thing before Perch. I watched that Kurt Angle documentary too,
Okay.
and that thing was if you're a Kurt Angle fan or like, if you don't really know Kurt Angle, man, watching that I didn't realize how much stuff he actually went through. How many times he broke his neck? I
Mm-hmm.
think it's like 5 or 6
Yeah.
total, like four in a matter of 2 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was wild. And then just him being as open as he is about his addiction, saying at one point he was taking 65 pills a day.
Hmm.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Let's say what?
Yeah, I imagine that one's probably decently sad.
But happy at the end.
And that's what matters, at least, yeah, so far. Happy endings, happy endings. Perch, what have you watched?
And happy ending was that last match of Monday Night Raw the other day. Chad Gable and Gunther with a banger of a match. Just the anticipation, the build up, looking at the clock and it's like, ooh, there's still a lot of time before 10 o'clock. And they filled every second of that match with just pro wrestling, what you love to see. Both of them were top notch. Gunther towards the end, going for that power bomb, and Gable slips out. He ducks the clothesline, so it's like you're already foreshadowing the ending right there. You go into it, just beautiful. By the time the ending came, it was like whoa, emotional watching his kids out there too. When you allow pro wrestling to, you know, be there for you, it catches you in all the emotions. And when they showed the kids, it's like it makes that very small gap even closer between us being kids and loving pro wrestling. So letting the emotions flow and in a match like that was awesome. That was so much fun to watch. Been going back and watching some, I guess, tape study, different matches from AAW match, Merrick Brave against Tyler Black in a no rope barbed wire match from maybe 2005 era at the Berwyn Eagles Club. A really good match. Good start to it, good finish. Ending was a solid from inside the ring to outside the ring through a door filled with, or a table full of barbed wire. Took him 3 minutes to get out, crawl back into the ring. 1, 2, 3. Just beautiful. A good finish. We're almost modern day it would be conditioned for someone to kick out, but the fact that it's 2005, this was the way it was done, and it was beautiful. What's old is new, and what's new is probably about 15 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what new is anymore, but
It's new to me.
but it's great. Some DDT Pro Wrestling. They had a fun show where a bunch of the guys wore the other guy's gear, and not just wore the gear, but were the characters.
Oh.
A good mashup, and just full commitment to it. And what comes out of it is a show that was just amazing. Paying homage to each other while they're in the different gear. It's just, it's great. There's comedy to it, seriousness to it. Seeing Jun Akiyama with the outfit that he had and a little bit of a wig to it too.
No.
Oh my god. Yeah, worth
Oh
checking
God,
out.
I would love to see who was imitating him
Oh yeah, yeah.
on the other
He's
end.
doing it. Had
Then.
the coat, had everything set up. I think it was oh, I can't remember. Can't remember, but maybe Higuchi. Um, but yeah, just great, phenomenal, and it kind of turns wrestling on its head a little bit when you do the outside the box ideas, because it takes full commitment from each person to be on the same page. It's one thing to just wear it, but it's another to fully commit. And when you fully commit and everyone else fully commits, it's magic. And it's all about having fun. And
Yes.
and that was one that came out through video and pictures, and everyone that I see is just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's wrestling at its best when it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It is everybody having fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun.
And boy, is it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about some of the fun we had then. Zach, we at least had one weekend together.
I think we have maybe 2.
No, it should be. Oh wait, yep, it might be 2.
Oh, say I think we have 2.
Yep.
We did miss like 2 weeks of this stuff.
Yeah, yep. So it would be from before that. So that would be 0.
We
No,
had
did
0,
we
1,
talk
and 2.
about the Insane Eight? I feel like we've talked about the Insane Eight.
Maybe. Yeah, didn't do it this week. Didn't do it I don't think we did talk about Insane 8.
Let's see. Oh, yep, because the last one would have been yep. You're right. 3 Rings of Doom. So 0, 1, and Insane 8.
Wow. What?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we made our way down. We made our return to 0, 1 and Terre Haute, but everyone knows 0, 1 runs Mattoon, Illinois, and that's where it was a 0, 1 homecoming. And your mama's favorites got the opportunity to take on old time tag, newly reunited Power Trip and Jared Allen and Jake Landers.
Yep. Yes, sir. First time matchup between the two teams. A bit of an old school well-known tag team down in the Southern Illinois area. The fans were super ready to boo them, and more importantly, they were happy to see us back.
Yes, sir. And more importantly, we were able to, have a hard fought match and prove why we were the former 0, 1 tag team champions, showing up and picking up a big W.
Yes, sir. Then that was most important. Yeah. So successful return to 0, 1. Power Trip. I mean, it was announced. We'll see you guys again with contendership status on the line. Can't wait for it. And then that
Yes,
Sunday we had the Insane Eight.
yes, sir. It was a 8-man tag Survivor Series match, and we got to take on TAU. Referee Dan Perch's favorite tag team, accompanied by with Sensei Storm and a guy who should have been on here today, Mister Working 3 weekends in a row, Baxter Belafonte.
Yeah, back in seemingly in the swing of things. Unfortunately, that means he's back in our way. But super hot day, but it's the Insane Eight.
Yeah,
Awesome time
sure.
as always. The holiday out here in Milwaukee might as well be.
And Country Air united with the great outdoors, and we went to work, and unfortunately, it was an early night for me, not too early for Doc.
Yeah, which considering the heat, wasn't probably the way I wanted to go. You see, handing out liquid swords, trying to end this match as quick as possible.
Bro, I did a double German on TAU, and I'll give them props because even when they get their ass kicked, they do it in unison. So they both.
Yep, yep. But yeah, unfortunately, your mama's favorites made an early exit in that match. But Yeti, Yeti's on the rise. Can't stop the funk. That man came through and pulled out the W.
Yes, sir. So we got the win.
Yep. And then not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we were on a 4-day tour with NWA for NWA 75 in St. Louis and some TV tapings down in Nashville. Super awesome time. Love the NWA locker room. Shout out to Marche for taking care of us as always, and Missa.
Yo, Marche, all I know is if you're listening to this, if you're not doing it right now, you better hoodie up
Yep,
and
hoodie up,
respect the
respect the process.
process.
Yes, sir. But yeah, super fun weekend. Great hanging out with those guys. NWA always treats the people who help out very appreciatively. Yeah, if you're working hard, you actually, feel the appreciation for them, and that is a rarity if you've done setups before. But yeah, super fun weekend. Some
Um,
major
that,
what's up?
Keep going.
I was gonna say we made the drive down Friday to St. Louis for NWA 75 for the 2 days of taping in St. Louis, Saturday and Sunday. This is awesome hotel they put us up in. The hotel had a movie theater in it as well.
And more importantly, the elevator brought you right down to the venue.
Yes, the elevator next to our room brought us right down to the venue. So yeah, no having to travel, no crazy setup and or no crazy teardown at least. With this. It was Harley Race's original ring they were working in, so that was a cool piece of history. Just overall good time. What did you think, Zach?
I mean, overall, yeah, great time. Got to see a lot of homies. Got to watch Daisy Kill. For those who don't know, you don't know, but former homie up in Chicago. He won the NWA USA Tag Team Championship.
With Talos, who
Blunt.
has also become a good homie.
Oh, Talos is super cool.
Yeah.
It's that bond with the Zach's.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hanging out with Marche, hanging out with Yabo and
Ruffo.
Ruffa, and actually running into Violent J, and I'm like hearing having Violent J tell us stories about Terry Funk.
Yep.
Was super cool to hear. Having him tell me a little bit of stories about the Weed Man, also known as as Milwaukee's favorite son, Dysfunction. Got to hear stories about him on with JCW, so it's just like super cool to hear that. Went from like who's this guy to like by Saturday night, Violent J's like, yo, you want a shot? And teaching us how to take a shot. Like
Mhm.
the way they do is you have to tap it on the floor and go all the way up with a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too. What wasn't fun though was when we were in Kentucky and I found out I lost my debit card.
Yes, that was not fun, but we made it through.
Made it through. Nashville,
Yeah.
super cool. Got to see a lot of people get looks. A lot of tapings. The Barker out here, Cody James,
Yep.
his thing. Uh, just a lot. It's good to see a lot of like friends, homies that you're close with, succeeding, and like, one day our card will get pulled.
Yep, all over. I mean, we see Sky now on AEW. They showed her a lot of love while they were here in Chicago on those shows. I did watch her matches. So yeah, it's always good for the homies to get on. And yeah, when it's our turn, it's our turn. But right now, things are looking up for your mama's favorite tag team.
Yes,
And
sir.
this past weekend, I was on vacation in Virginia. It was awesome. Went out there for my fantasy draft. We've been doing this 20 years now. So super good time to chill with the homies, relax by the lake, grill up, eat a lot, just really relax and get the mind and body right for these next, last couple months in the year. We can tear it up. How was your weekend, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, most of the part, I moved to a new place, so a lot of unpacking. But my mom and dad came up, so I got to hang out with them. We went to the Milwaukee Zoo, uh, went to the pool. Just super good time. Like, it's rare to get the weekends off, and like parents were like, "Hey, we want to drive up to come see you." So it was like, just the stars aligned for that. And then Monday, I did Labor Fest with Angel Armani, MIAW. I got to work Nell Dillinger. First time ever we got to work a singles match together. We've been in plenty of tag matches, but got to work him in a singles match, and one clothesline from hell. I was channeling in my Stan Hansen JBL, gave him a clothesline from hell, and got the W.
Nice. All right, Perch. How have you been these last 3 weekends? I guess it is.
Yeah, very good. Really kicked things off a couple weekends ago for GCW Homecoming over in Atlantic City. We had 3 shows in 2 days between Game Changer Wrestling and Jersey Championship Wrestling. Ref Adam Gold was not in attendance because he had an opportunity working with New Japan and Impact. So he left the responsibilities of the head referee to me for the weekend. So it was a huge honor. Represent the Midwest, represent Milwaukee, Thumber's Den, and held down the fort for 3 shows, 2 days in Atlantic City. We talk about learning one step every day and being one step better than you were yesterday. And when opportunities come around, you want to make sure you're prepared or in the best position to succeed. How many goals do we look to achieve that 5 years ago we couldn't have even fathomed? So one of those good, constant reminders to keep us on the right track and to, continue to set goals and work for them. And one step in front of the net and in front of the other, day by day, you get a little bit better. And by the time an opportunity like this comes up, you may find yourself prepared to handle it. So that weekend was awesome. Everything went well. Had great referee crew. People from all over the world on the shows, able to transition between a couple of different languages inside the ring and outside the ring, working with everybody. Yeah, and it's funny when we work hard as our different roles inside the business, but we look to earn more responsibility along with it. And the fun becomes work, but the work is so much fun that it's like goes by so quick. When you're doing what you love, truly is the best feeling in the world. That weekend had a bunch of matches. First of the night, we had Leon Slater against Alec Price. Very fun match. Leon Slater from the UK and Alec Price from the East Coast. A great matchup between those guys. Very fun. Gotten to work Leon Slater against Nick Wayne earlier in the year, so to see the matchup against Alec Price here was very fun. Yeah, kind of super juniors. Great minds for the business as they put matches together and put out a good performance. The next match I had was for the Freedoms Championship with John Wayne Murdoch against Segura. That match was damn cool. They went all out, lots of weaponry. One point, Murdoch is in the corner sitting down. Segura puts a pane of glass in front of him and runs full blow into a cannonball. It was one of the cooler, innovative moves I've seen in a death match. And Segura comes out the champion and retains the title. The main event that night, we had Matt Tremont against Crazy King. Tremont is a pleasure to work with, just a true legend. I had him and Madman Pondo to start the year on New Year's, and it was a fun match. So to fast forward in the same venue to have another Matt Tremont match, this time against Ray Loco, very cool, very cool. It worked with Crazy King in Detroit a few weeks earlier, and always pushing the boundaries for wrestling, different styles from different parts of the world. They closed it out really well that night. Tremont's entrance alone with Journey playing Separate Ways, one of my favorite songs. So that hits on another level every time. The whole crowd going nuts too. And then the next day we had a little Jersey Championship wrestling. Jordan Oliver against Griffin. That was a hell of a match. Those guys are pals, but rivals, and both put together, young, going to be stars one day, if not, modern stars for their era and demographics. Yeah, they put in a classic that night, and Jordan Oliver comes out victorious and retains the title. And later on that day, we had Homecoming Night 2. First match I had was the Battle of the Superstars, Becca against Maki Ito. It was a fun matchup, and I think they brought that matchup back maybe at MLW most recently. But a very, very fun matchup. Good submissions in there too, and telling a good story. Maki Ito comes out victorious in that one. Next match I had was Masha Slamovich going up against Blake Christian for the GCW World title. Blake Christian took the title from her several months ago in the Cage of Survival in that room. So Masha's getting her revenge. And during the match, Masha was really trying to choke the champion out and had him pretty good. And then he ran right into me and took me out. I don't know what happened next, but by the time I came to, went for a pin count, and it was only a 2 count. Then Masha hooked on the choke again, and Blake was starting to fade. The eyes weren't rolled back into the back of the head, but I gave the arms a check, dropped it for 1, dropped it for 2, and just about to drop it for the 3rd. And before I got to it, I got pulled out of the ring. Pulled out. I think it was Steph DeLander. She shoved me to the ground, and to tell you the truth, it was so hot in there that there were fans around me, and they were fanning me with actual fans because it was hot and I was beaten up. And when I saw a pin go down, I got back into the ring and counted the 3, and Blake Christian is still your champion.
I'm sure he did something dastardly.
Fun match, lots of shenanigans. I missed about half of it. But we were also there for everything. So it was a good time in the midst of a wild, chaotic weekend. Having a match like that is what it's all about. Pushing yourself, pushing your boundaries, relying on your instincts, trusting your gut, and putting out a performance to give the fans a great time. And yeah, that one was really fun. And yeah, that was the wild weekend. Oh yeah, the last one I had that night was Santana Jackson came in. and, and that was a last minute match that got added. And we took it just for the sake of because everyone else was in the midst of other stuff. And yeah, Santana Jackson hit the old moonwalk DDT, boom.
That's
First,
all you need.
first time I've ever seen in person. It was fun. Wild match. But yeah, great time. Successful weekend on the East Coast all around, which is always fun. And then we kicked it back to Milwaukee for Mexican Fiesta last weekend. Made it for one of the days, and yeah, had a blast. Just helping out, taking some video footage, setting up, tearing down, recording some matches for people. Really just helping out however we can. It's always fun to hop on the Summer Sizzler tour, especially with the homies that we train with, and get better alongside, and, share ideas and stories and experiences. So it's fun to go out there and continue the experiences. And then last weekend, we had a big one, Thursday, Friday, Saturday action. Thursday night was AAW at the Berwyn Eagles Club. The first match I had of the night was Sierra against Masha Slamovich.
I
This
heard
was
with the
for the
barn burner.
Yeah, this is a banger of a match for the women's title. And one thing led to another. Masha and Sierra are brawling throughout the entire arena. It was an awesome match. And at one point, Sierra goes for a spear, but Masha threw me in the way, so I took the spear, and I was out. By the time I got my wits about me, chaos was just out of control. Wrestlers were everywhere. People with security was all around. They brought it back into the ring and started destroying some of the other referees. I called for the bell. No contest. That match couldn't be withheld inside the constraints of a wrestling match, and they need something more. So no winner, no loser. Masha's still the champion. Next match I had was Davey Vega against Jake Something for the heavyweight championship. Jake Something was the champion, and Davey Vega had 3 managers on the outside. That was another one with all the
Did you
bells
check
and
all their
whistles.
licenses?
I did. And 2 of them were valid. The third one we're still checking on, but it didn't pass in time. Didn't get the answer back in time, so I had to let it fly. Yeah, I tossed one of them out. The other 2 got their asses kicked. I think all 3 of them got their asses kicked by the end of it. Vega tried to bring in the title, but I took it away from him. By the time I set that title down and turned back, Jake Something was knocked out. I truly don't know what happened. But one thing led to another. Davey Vega is your new champion. We got pulled out of the ring on that one too, all random things.
People keep grabbing at your ankles, man.
Yeah, sometimes you get those matches that have a little bit of everything. But those are the reasons that we're doing what we're doing, to push ourselves, to get to the right mindset. And yeah, put the foot down sometimes. That's why I had to toss him up. And then the next match was the main event of the night. Robert Ego Anthony against Mance Warner. In the midst of a blood feud, they had a no-rope barbed wire match at the Berwyn Eagles Club. This was so bloody, so brutal, nasty, vicious, incredible. The photos and footage that have come out from this match are really awesome, emotional, breathtaking. It was an incredible match, and Mance at the end goes for a knee, and the lights go out, and the lights come back on, and John Moxley was standing inside the ring. No one knew what was going on. I was looking at Ego, realizing he pulled a dirty trick, got one of his old riding partners from back in the day, because he knew he wouldn't be able to, withstand that kind of an environment as well as Mance could. So he made sure he could get someone who can handle that environment, and had an ace up his sleeve. And Moxley hits his finish on Mance, starts to walk away. Robert Ego Anthony goes for the pin, and Mance kicks out. Mox turns around, comes back to the ring. They start whooping ass again, and Ego hits Mance with a chair and a DVD and a finish. Hell of a match. Incredible atmosphere to kick off the weekend. Old school pro wrestling done the right way. And the next night was GCW at Hoffman Estates, the house of where it used to be the 2 rings, 2 cages the past couple of years. This time around, 1 ring, but a giant crowd, which was so much fun. After the bloody match with Mance the night before, this day for GCW, I had Mance against Speedball Mike Bailey, which was a very fun matchup. Lots of kicks and lots of strikes. And at one point, an eye poke, Speedball Mike grabbed my arm, but I reversed him right back into Mance. Mance picked me up and used me like a ladder and started swinging me around as the crowd was hollering Terry Funk. It was fun. Everything happened in that match. At one point in the corner of the ring, Mance took 1 kick to the face, and it stood him straight up, and he fell right back onto his butt. Bloop, bloop. And it was the realest moment, because sometimes you get kicked and you just don't have your legs under you, and you fall butt first. It was a moment that really stood out from that match. And the next match I had was Francesco Akira taking on Blake Christian for the GCW World Championship.
Yeah, that was probably really good.
Yeah, those two really went at it. Akira really brings it. I've never worked with him before, but I got to talk to him for a little bit from Italy. So I picked his brain on Italy and places to go and Italian food as well. And he had all the answers. Very nice guy. It came up just a little bit short in that match. Blake did keep it clean for that one, which isn't always the case. But winner and still GCW World Champion, Blake Christian. And then the next day, we had Effie's Big Gay Brunch. Really fun time. Lots of people. And I like that afternoon show. It's really fun. First match I had was Pero in the Gauntlet, which is reminiscent of my first GCW set of events in Tampa, which was the Gauntlet match. And Pero thought he had it won after going through 3 guys. However, there was one more competitor, and it was Baby Bop.
Ooh.
All done up, the 9s in full working order. Baby Bop comes in and just whoops ass. Hits the shoulder tackle, 5-knuckle shuffle, picks up, hits the spear right through a door. 1, 2, 3. Winner. Baby Bop was awesome. But then Pero was so pissed that he destroyed Baby Bop by the end of it and exposed the Bop. Yeah, vicious. It turned ugly in a hurry. But a hell of a match. And the next match I had was Team East Coast versus Team Midwest. Team Midwest, bunch of homies that we know from out here in CSW range. Good team: Joey, Mateo, Shelly, Greg, a handful of managers on the outside. It was great. At one point in this match, everyone was on the outside, all 8, 10 of them, and we had to do a count out. So we got up to 8, 9, and by 9, everyone comes back into the ring. However, I didn't see the one person who came in right behind me. I take 2 steps back, boom, fall right onto my butt. In the exact same place where Manser took that butt fall from a speedball kick the night earlier.
Yeah.
It was so poetic that it happened. So I'd completely eat it, but then let the crowd know, nope, no count out, and just completely rolled with it. And instead of an American crowd really taking over, they didn't, which was exactly what myself as a referee tries to do. And was able to get it right back on the rails before it had a chance to fall off.
There we go.
Sometimes we really do fall on our butt.
Yeah.
So it's all how you roll with it and owning it. So we had a great time. Fun match all around. Team Midwest won. We're not saying we put in the fix for them, but
I mean, it's not TAU, so why would you?
yeah. But being a Midwesterner myself, it's in my blood. Hardworking, blue-collar Midwesterner. It's where it's at. And then we ended up catching the St. Martin's Day Fest yesterday at Romy's in Franklin, and that was a blast. With the Summer Sizzler tour, may have been the last leg of the Summer Sizzler tour. They just came back from Portage County and Sheboygan, so I hopped on the last leg, and yeah, it was great. TAU took on Swaggle and Colucci. It was a banger of a match. Stacy Shadows and Tyler took on Shelly Benson and JP. There was some backs in there. CJ, Mondo, Chucky, lots of people. Roosevelt got in there for a match. Yeah, it was so much fun. Just everybody having a great time the entire time. Gunner was up in there destroying people. Yeah, we had so much fun. The Priest, any opportunities to go out there and help however we can. Film some of the matches, got some footage, and learned a lot always by setting up, tearing down, and working with the guys. So yeah, had such a fun time this weekend and the other weekends too.
Awesome. Yeah. Always sad to miss Portage. Looked like it was a good time. I did see pictures of Roosevelt doing his thing, so happy for him. Yeah, looked like a great time. Looked super hot. But no, looked like a fun time. Summer Sizzler's always great. All right, we are 2 weeks behind, but let's get to a very tough topic. Why don't we share some memories of Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt? I'll go first because I'm sure the other two will have more things to say than I will. My first experience with Terry Funk is his feud with Mankind in WWF back in the day. I just thought, who is this wild and crazy old guy? But he was awesome. Balls to the wall, one of the realest you ever saw on TV. Then as I got into the business and got older and internet became more of a thing and YouTube is more of a thing, you start Googling some old matches, with the Funks as a tag team, and watched a lot of those and in the early parts of me and Zach's career. It's crazy when you think of a lot of things that your wrestling purists complain about today, the Funks were doing back then, and they're freaking legends. So it's kind of like Perch said, nothing's new. It's a couple years old. It's just new to me. I haven't seen it. Bray, when I was getting back into wrestling, watching wrestling, Bray, the Wyatt family was a big part of it. Seeing those guys come along, by the time I was watching them, they weren't on the indies, so I didn't have the attachment to a Luke Harper that I would eventually have. Luke Harper, Brody Lee. But the Wyatts, they were just fun. It was, back to that, that I think WWE, has the production value to do mystical stuff very well. And, they backstage headaches aside, when they get on it, they always went full in with Bray, and such a smooth talker, able to reach so many people. It's just amazing how many things they were able to, for him to make work when they let him just be free and let his wrestling mind do the work. You would never say that maybe he had a 5-star match, but he crafted so many just amazing stories over these past few years that I am so happy I got to watch, and went in so many directions, and just up, what the production value could be for wrestling, which I always think is amazing. So sad day that we lost, those two. Zach, why don't you go next?
Yeah, for me with Terry Funk, at first, I didn't like him because I didn't like Chainsaw Charlie locking the New Age Outlaws in a dumpster. Had some heat there, bro.
People don't forget.
Yeah, people don't forget. You gonna do Road Dogg and Billy Gunn like that, but Terry Funk, like, obviously his matches with Cactus Jack are memorable. Like, you can go. I heard, like I said, we heard stories about Terry Funk, and one was Violent J was telling us a story that, like, they used to make tapes in the back of the day of like hardcore matches and all that, and just they used a lot of people's images without permission, and like they ran into one guy in the locker room at WWE, and they're like, "Hey, you used a lot of my footage. You need to pay up." So they paid him I don't know the amount, but they paid him. And they're hanging out with Sabu, and Sabu pretty much had him go to Terry Funk's house, and they're like, "Oh shit! If we owed homie some money,
Yeah,
we
we
used damn
definitely
near all of Terry Funk."
are.
He's like, "We owe this guy a lot of money," and like everyone knows, Terry Funk is super tough. So just going to his house is now intimidating. And they said Terry Funk was like, "No, man, it's cool. You can just use my image." He had like no care in the world, just super down to earth. And they said that was just the type of guy he was. He just had a love for this business. And even then, like they gave him some money. I won't say the amount, but if you read the Terry Funk autobiography, I guess he talks about it. And they said he was just super appreciative for them just still taking care of it, even though it was not a big deal. Um, you hear stories of him and Dory going to Japan at like their old age and just beating the fuck out of everyone.
Yeah.
Um, that was like the stories. Like, I mean, I probably like not the like I know I watch a lot of Terry Funk, so like I mean, we just heard stories over the weekend that we were sharing. So these ain't my stories. I know that sounds like kind of cliche, but just getting to hear everyone else who's got to actually work with him, like and hear these stories are pretty cool. Bray Wyatt, though, on the other hand, like I remember watching him and just like I did not like the Wyatts because I was really big fan of the Shield. The Shield will never beat the Wyatts ever because just can't possibly do it now. But Bray Wyatt was cool. I think he was too cool for Vince McMahon's understanding. I mean, but what I remember watching the Firefly Funhouse for the first time. I think I was at referee Perch's place at the time, and it was very intriguing. Like, what is going on here? To eventually the Fiend, and just watching like how many different like every time Bray Wyatt came back, there was a different invention of him, and like how you can just keep it horror. I like the horror theme stuff, so just what Bray Wyatt did clicked with me because I love horror movies. So like the Fiend, even what he was doing now before he had to leave for obvious reasons, was just very intriguing. I just wish the horse would have got off a lot sooner and we could have saw a lot more that he was capable of doing.
Yeah. And Perch, what do you got?
Yeah, when I was going back and studying pro wrestling, one of the eras that I would look at was the 80s WCW, especially for the referees. And then I was introduced to a feud with Terry Funk coming in 1989. Terry was brought in to be the judge of the final match between Ric Flair and Steamboat. And if it went to a time limit draw, the former NWA World Champions were the judges and they would decide. And Funk was on commentary earlier in the night too. So he was just a part of the show. And by the end of it, Ric Flair wins and he wins the title. And Funk, who had just been doing some movies and stuff, asked Ric Flair if he would mind giving him a chance to face for the title. And Rick said, "Hey Terry, you're gonna have to fall in line. There's a list of people who are ahead of you, and I'm happy to give you one, but you're gonna have to earn it." And Terry didn't like it, and he just destroyed Ric Flair. Um, he threw him out, beat him up, tossed him outside against the guardrails. By the end of it, he gave him a pile driver on a table, which was just about unheard of at the time. I think they had done it in Memphis earlier, but it's the first time it was brought to a big national scene, and it was devastating. It took Ric Flair out neck brace for a couple months, and meanwhile Terry Funk was ripping through everybody on WCW, cutting promos, just evil ones against Ric Flair, calling him out, really just nasty. But that's how you build the heat. That's how you get someone to really, get behind the good guy. For the first time, Ric Flair was being treated like the good guy because someone just as evil as Terry Funk was forcing it. That whole feud was phenomenal. Terry Funk meeting up with the Great Muta, as they were both managed by Gary Hart. Just two good evil villains running through everybody in WCW. That was Muda's first year in the States, the 89 to 90, or first major year. And those guys were just great together. Terry Funk's ability to work inside the ring and to always, command a crowd, unlike anybody else. You got to know how to give an ass kicking, but you got to know how to get your ass kicked. And Terry Funk knew how to do them both to the best of anyone's ability. Yeah, so much good inspiration from Terry. Beyond the Mat is a phenomenal movie, especially once you start working inside the wrestling business. I fell in love with Terry Funk even more after watching that movie, and the stories that he has and that were so real and genuine. And it showed me what it means to be in the pro wrestling business, to give your body, to sacrifice everything in your life for pro wrestling. No one really exemplified that more than Terry Funk in my eyes. And I missed most of his career being born, in the era I was. By the time we were born, he was already middle aged and crazy.
Yeah.
and on his multiple retirements. But his ability to connect with people and to get under people's skin and fully commit is the best I've ever seen. Will always be inspired by Terry Funk. And between him and Harley Race, two guys who are doing all this stuff where you see people nowadays, oh, no one does that. Well, look at Terry Funk and watch Harley Race. They were doing this stuff for people way back then. Probably getting called out on it, but they were two tough SOBs who could do it because they knew it was right for the business. The business is always changing, always. And what's good for the business is what the people want at any given time. And Terry was someone who knew how to adapt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll always love him and love seeing all the clips and all the movies that have been coming out throughout. Between Dory Jr. and Terry fighting together. Yeah, just so cool. It makes Amarillo, Texas always stand out in my mind. And as for Bray Wyatt, enjoyed watching him. It was the Wyatt family. He's a solid wrestler. Would always cut a good promo. What I remember most from him is the way he would stand in the corner and kind of arches, body back, start kicking that foot, almost like he was going into a different zone. The ability for us to change into different gears and to put our mindset in a different zone is so important in pro wrestling. It's not about staying in one gear the whole time and accomplishing everything you're looking to accomplish, because you need some highs and lows, some ups and downs. And Bray Wyatt was someone who kept the tempo pretty well. I enjoyed watching his matches because it was very fluid. His promos would take people on a story and would engage the whole crowd. I'm not holding up a phone light, but looks like thousands of other people are holding up phone lights. So that's a connection that's made. We'd probably hold up a lighter if we had the chance, just for the old school days. But you see the connection that a guy like that has. Very, very impactful. Always like the Wyatt brothers as well. A good dynamic between them. Scary, spooky. So yeah, it will always be missed.
Definitely. Yep, sad to see those two gone. Much love to their family. But wrestling goes on, and love to see all the tributes we've been seeing, and hopefully we just evolve from this further. So why don't we go ahead and look to that future and talk about what we got coming up this weekend. Zach, we've got some fun this weekend.
Yes, sir. Friday night is Mondo Lucha night. Doc, it was announced that Team Turbo, you guys will be in a tag match. Don't appreciate you cheating, but I accept it.
Yep, it'll be Me and Jared versus Warhorse and Space Monkey versus Craig Mitchell and Chris
Castro.
Castro. Yep. I was gonna say, like, I think I'm about to say his shoot name, not his worker name. But yep. Castro, triple threat tag action. Team Turbo got to find our way back to them belts. Bad Steens, I'm looking at you, brother. But nope, Mondo, another great holiday in the Milwaukee area. Super looking forward to it. Happy to be back. It feels like this year flew by. It feels like we were just there not too long ago. So super excited as always. But after
Yeah, man.
what's up?
Oh, nothing. Keep going.
Okay, but after Mondo and after a small trip to the Vanguard, we will be heading further east where we make our debut at AIW, Absolute Intense Wrestling. In
Ohio debut, new state,
new
baby.
state. So, yep, we got to try to close out the year, get to those 5 states. It will be us versus members only, who we got to see back at Black Label Pro, who's unplugged. So this is a big one. I've been trying to get to AIW. Members only, an established tag team. That's what we're looking for. Just to elevate what tag team wrestling is. What do you have to say, Zach?
Oh yeah, I mean AIW back in the day, I want to say it was like right after the pandemic. I believe Doc was out of town, maybe doing his draft. I don't know how often you go out of town for your draft, but I know you were not in town. I remember going down to Port, like leaving Portage, going out to GCW, helping out. And they had a double show with AIW where I first experienced it. I watched a phenomenal tag match that made me fall more in love with tag wrestling. I realized tag wrestling could be more than what it was. It was between PME and To Infinity and Beyond. Um, just amazing storytelling, and like you could tell by the matches they had, and like when you rewatch it and listen to commentary, the story they tell was just great. And just remember being like, man, this is a place I want to be at. Um, you know, members only. They're a homegrown at Absolute Intense Wrestling. This is their home turf. And we're just trying to bring in some of that nice country air. Let them take a whiff.
Yep. So should be a good one. If you're in the Wadsworth, that's where it is. Wadsworth, Ohio. If you're in the Wadsworth, Ohio area, please come on out. Check us out. Give some love and support. Perch, what do you got this weekend?
Weekend with Mondo Lucha on Friday. Gonna be a fun time. One of the funnest shows of the year, especially in Milwaukee. Turner Hall Ballroom is always packed wall to wall, and yeah, it should be some good action. Uh, Going from the earliest days of being a bad guy to being just a normal guy. Ready to call the action right down the middle for any matches that take place. No payola. Unless if it calls for it, then we will take a little bribe. But we'll take it as it comes. It's Mondo Lucha night. All the cards are off the table.
Yep, never know. Just here to have a good time.
Yep, and I'm really looking forward to it. And then we're heading out for a show for Game Changer Wrestling on Sunday in Brooklyn. Going to be a real fun time. GCW on Fight TV at the Roulette Room in Brooklyn, across the street from a corner, I think a bodega, where I got the best sandwich in my life. It was like a turkey bacon club. Yeah, I
Can't
spoke
go
on it.
wrong with the bodega. Can't go
Remember
wrong.
speaking on that one in one of the podcasts. Best sandwich I've ever had. So I'm looking forward to getting back there on Sunday. Should be a fun time. Some good matchups.
Nice. And with that, I think it's time we start taking it home. So I'll go down the line. Perch, any final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, we started the big a comeback for the Perch merch shirt in honor of Trevor Outlaw wearing it the other day. We have a match coming up against each other in September 22nd on IWTV. He's been calling me out and doing evil stuff to management, but he came out wearing a Perch shirt, which you could say was a mistake, but we're going to capitalize on it and make the most out of it because we're starting the Perch merch shirt again, a reissue. This time all the proceeds are going to the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. Those kids in the foundation helped Freelance Wrestling run a show last winter. And my God, it was the most heartwarming day benefit show I've ever been a part of. The reason why we do pro wrestling is to make a difference in people's lives, whether that's our lives or kids' lives or families' lives. Um, the impact that we're able to make through the entertainment form that we do really, has an impact. So any little bit that we can do to give back or to help facilitate making someone else's life a little bit better means everything to me. So in this small way, the shirt is backed by popular demand. Therefore, we're taking any and all profits, proceeds, everything, and going to help support the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation.
Yeah. Awesome. It's an awesome shirt and an awesome cause. Zach, any final thoughts, questions?
Hell yeah, Gunther has the record. 2 records, 2 different names. Super pumped about that. And other than that, getting prepared. I guess football starts in 2 days.
Yes, sir.
Packers Bears Sunday. Gonna be hosting that and hosting a Bears W.
All right. Yep. And to everybody, good luck on this season with your fantasy teams. I'm very excited about this year. I think I've got a good shot. It's first draft in a while where I could just sit comfortable and draft and not be on the way to a show or in the middle of a show or anything like that. Be sure to take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Go ahead and share your memories of Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt down in the comments. Follow us on all social media. Tell promotions to book us because we like to wrestle and rough in front of you. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.